And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb-bearing seed. To you it shall be for food. Genesis 1:29. Man did eat angels' food. He sent them meat to the full. Psalm 78:25. Everyday Manna with Lisa.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Everyday Manna. Today we are going to be making a ginger meatball skewer, and to go alongside that we're going to make a saute of celery and snow peas, and then we're going to make a pineapple lemon dressing for a salad. So we're going to get started on the meatballs first. Now I'm going to go ahead and prep all the ingredients before I start rolling the meatballs. I have here 1 large green pepper, and I'm going to cut it into chunks. If you don't like green pepper, you could use red pepper or no pepper, whatever you like. And you do want to cut the little ribs out, so let's put those in the garbage can. Get those seeds off my board. Now this is one of those dishes that you can do on a grill, or you can do it under your broiler, which is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to cook it under the broiler of the stove. All right, you want these to be in good-sized chunks because we're going to be skewering them. So about, 1 inch or so chunks is good. If some of them are a little bit bigger, I'm going to cut that end off and I'll just have that in a salad or something. I love green peppers. Okay, I've already got 1 can of pineapple chunks that I've drained. And keep that juice because we use that in our salad dressing. So we don't want anything to go to waste here. Let's get some of these in our bowl. I love meatballs, and I make them several different ways. This one is really particularly good if you like the flavor of ginger, which we're actually gonna use ginger snaps. Speaking of, I've got a few just ginger snap cookies here in a bag that I'm gonna crush. Now you can either use a food processor or a little meat mallet. You want them pretty fine. This is a great job to let your kids do, because this is a lot of fun for them. I like to just ever so often pick up the bag and shake it, and that gets the smaller bits to the bottom and the bigger bits on the top, because you really do want this fine. So we're going to mix it in with the beef. I think that's good. You want, around 2/3 of a cup or so. You don't have to be exact on it, and just put that in your meat mixture, your ground beef. I have some garlic, just minced up garlic. I've got some salt and some pepper, and I'm going to add 1 egg, but I'm going to beat lightly, and add that to my mixture. Mama always told me to make sure that I put my egg in a separate bowl first and then add it to your mixture, because you could get a bad egg. And I never ever have run into a bad egg until the other day, and I was cracking eggs into a bowl, was recipe testing, and I had a bad egg. First time I've ever had one. So always crack your eggs in a separate bowl, even if you think I'm never going to get a bad egg, because you really might. And these were purchased from a grocery store. All right, you want to mix these together until all the ingredients are incorporated. Don't over mix it, but get it, everything incorporated. And then set that to the side. Now, I have here a lined baking tray, and I have some metal skewers that I use when I am grilling. So you will need some skewers of some sort. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of a little hint here. If you're buying skewers, try to make sure that the ones that you get are flat, because the round ones, oftentimes the food just spins on it. But if you get ones that are flat, they're less likely to spin around. Now, I would not let my kids do this part because that is very sharp. If you're using the wooden bamboo skewers, make sure that you soak those for about 30 minutes before you put them under the broiler. But I have a tray here that I have sprayed with nonstick cooking spray. I've used foil, but this part I did spray. I have 1 can of drained pineapple chunks and my green pepper chunks. I'm using a ice cream scoop so that my meatballs kind of all end up the same. And I forgot to get a, I don't want to put those on my board. So I'm going to make all my meatballs. Just kind of get them, scoop them and then roll them. All right. I forgot to get a little, let me do this. Let me grab some, let me just get one of these on my board. Then I can put my meatballs. I don't like raw meat on my wooden cutting board. I know I can clean it. A lot of people don't care about that, but I do. So I don't want to put my raw meat on the board. Now, this you can make ahead if you want to. The reason I like to use the scoop is so that they're all the same size and they all cook at the same rate. Okay, so you want to make these ahead. This is one of those recipes that you can totally make ahead and freeze if you need to. Now, if you don't have skewers, and not everybody does, you can just put these on the lined baking dish and put them under the broiler and just lay the pieces out on your tray, baking rack. Phew. If your oven has one of those broiler pans that comes with it, you can totally use that. For some reason, this oven did not come with one, and I'm not sure why. I do like those. They work really well. And this is a dish, too, that if you wanted to make these meatballs and not skewer them and not use the pineapple and green pepper, make the meatballs and bake them and serve them with the sauce over some egg noodles. Would be delicious. Kind of a little bit of a take on German meatballs that have a lot of ginger snaps, like sauerbraten has a real gingery flavor. It just takes time. You're watching me do this in real time because I don't have a prep kitchen over there doing the work for me like a lot of cooking shows do. It's me. So I'm just going to keep rolling up these meatballs. Let me show you one real quick, and then we'll take a quick break. Take a piece of your pepper. Be careful, please. That's very sharp. And then take one of your meatballs and put that on there. And then put a piece of pineapple or two, however you want to do it. And then another piece of pepper and a meatball. You get the point of what I'm doing. And then I'm going to put another meatball. And then you're going to lay those on your sheet tray. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm just going to skewer these up. And when I come back, we're going to glaze them and get them in the oven. I'll be back in just a minute. Alrighty, we are back, and I want to show you, I just kind of did a couple of little variations here so I could just show you some options. These are the ones that you can skewer alongside the meatballs if you want to. Here are some with no vegetables, and if you have leftover vegetables or you don't have skewers and you just want to roast the veggies, then just put them alongside it. That's fine. And then you can just make your meatballs and put them right there. I just wanted to kind of show you a little bit of a variation. Since these don't have the fat from the meat near them, I'm actually going to put a little tiny bit of olive oil on those peppers. Not much, but just a little bit. And here I have some barbecue sauce, just your favorite, whatever kind you like. And I'm going to brush the meatballs on one side first with the barbecue sauce, and we're going to put them under a broiler. And then after about 15 minutes or so, I'm going to turn them over and brush the other side so that the glaze has a chance to get good and caramelized. If you want to put the glaze on or the barbecue sauce on the pineapple and green pepper, you can. I don't do that, but you can if you want to. Whatever kind of barbecue sauce you like is fine. All right, so we're going to set this to the side. We're going to pop this underneath a broiler. That will depend on your oven. This one is on the lowest shelf available, and it's on high, and I'm actually gonna, well, no, I don't need to open that. You might need to crack yours. Time it for about 15 minutes, and then we'll turn it over to the other side. All right, now we're gonna get started on a side dish for our meatballs, and I'm going to, this is just water. I'm gonna add some salt, a little bit of cornstarch, a little bit of sugar, and a little bit of soy sauce. And we're going to just whisk that all together. If I can find my little whisks. Here we go. Just whisk that to incorporate it all. Set it to the side. Keep your whisk handy because you will need to remix it. I have here a package of snow peas. And I have a skillet here that I'm going to preheat while I chop up my vegetables. Come on, you. There we go. Let's let that just do its thing. I have here some celery. This is actually beautiful celery that I've washed. I'm going to cut off the bottoms. I'm actually going to keep the leaves on because this has a lot of flavor. A lot of people just throw those away. You don't have to throw them away. They really are very good. They have a lot of flavor to them. I'm going to cut mine kind of on a diagonal so that they look nicer. Okay. If you hear a loud noise coming on, we're in our temporary set location until we get the new set done, and it's looking so good. This makes noise, and with that oven on, the big fan might possibly come on. I'm actually in the kitchen that we have in our office building. And we have an industrial hood there that sometimes does come on. So just overlook any noises you hear. Okay. And I have here, I don't know, 6 or 7 stalks of celery because it's my favorite. I love celery. I love it raw. I love it boiled. I love it sauteed. I love celery in any way, shape, or form. Okay? If you don't want to eat the leaves, you don't have to, but I like them. And then I have here some green onions. I'm going to line these up, cut off those little fuzzy ends. And some of the green tops. I'm going to use some of them, but I don't want them all. Okay. And we're going to cut these in, about an inch chunk on the green part. And then when you get down to the oniony part, we'll chop it a little finer. Okay, those are just green onions. The key with stir frying and things like that is you want to make sure that all your ingredients are prepped, ready to go. I have here some butter that I'm going to put down in the pan. I'm also going to add just a little bit of olive oil. Let me scoot this a little closer to me here. It's very hot, as you can see. Alrighty. I'm going to add my celery first. I don't know where my food chopper is, so we'll just use our hands. Okay, we're going to add our celery first, and we're just going to saute that for a couple of minutes. Let it become good and tender. Now these are snow peas. If you've never had snow peas, they're delicious. You can eat the pod and all. They can be a little long, so if you want to cut them in half, and I think I do, I'm just going to take them all out of their little container here. Just kind of line them up a little bit, and then do one cut down the middle. That way they're a little bit easier to eat, a little bit more manageable. I love snow peas. You could use sugar snap peas in this recipe too. All right, let me get the rest of these all lined up here. I smell that barbecue. It smells so good, that barbecue sauce with the meatballs. Okay, let's check our celery. After about a minute, you do not want this cooked to death. I'm going to add my green onion bottoms, the white part. Add that for about a minute. Let them get softened a little bit. If you have a wok, you can use a wok. Excuse me. Then I'm going to add my snow peas. And I'm going to let those go for about 2 minutes. Excuse me, my allergies are flaring. I'm just going to keep on stir frying this, take a quick break, get set up for our salad dressing, and check our meatballs. And when I come back, we're going to make a delicious pineapple tasting salad dressing. I'll be back in just a minute. Alrighty now, I've just stir-fried that for just a few seconds. I'm going to add the green tops. And just stir that for just a second. It's very vibrant green. We do not want to overcook any part of this. Then we're going to take our mixture that we made earlier, stir it one more time, and I'm going to add that to it. Now, what's going to happen is that sauce is going to thicken up a little bit because of the cornstarch. The liquids will reduce a little bit and sauce and coat the vegetables. So let it just come back up to a simmer, and that cornstarch will thicken the sauce. It's coming up to a simmer. Let it go. Don't cover it. Let it go, and it'll reduce and glaze those vegetables. I'll be back in just a minute. righty, now I want to show you real quickly our vegetables. They are done. You see how that just thickens up and becomes a gorgeous sauce. So that's ready to go. Let's make a quick little easy salad dressing. This is just some neutral flavored oil. This is some of the pineapple juice from the canned pineapple that we drained. This is a little bit of dried mint. Oh, it smells so good. It's quite potent, so you don't want too much. I've got a little bit of salt and a little bit of dry mustard. And I'm going to add the zest of some lemon for a little bit of zing. And we're going to actually juice the lemon. I like a vinegary type dressing, a very sharp flavored, oilier dressing for myself. Now, you obviously can do whatever you like in your house, but for me, I think I'm gonna actually zest both of those. They've been washed. I just like an oilier, Italianish oil vinaigrette type of dressing. I just do. And one of my favorites is Greek salad dressing, and that's where the mint comes from, because you'll find that very, very prevalent in Greek food. This is not Greek, but it made me realize how much I really do like mint. All right, then I'm going to juice these. I'm going to cut them in half. I'll put my knife away here. Let me grab a knife real quick. We're going to juice our lemons just straight into our mixing bowl. You could put this in like a mason jar with a lid on it and shake it, or you can do what I'm doing and just put it in a little dish and whisk it. Whatever you want to do is fine. Point of it is, I think I'm actually going to add, well, let me taste it first. It might be a little tangy. Let me get a little spoon. Taste it and see if you want a little more acidity. Oh, that's good. I do. I want a little more acidity in there. Now, I did not use olive oil in this one, which is a rare thing for me in a salad dressing, because I don't want that flavor. I want a neutral flavored oil like vegetable or canola, something like that. That'll be really good. If you want to add some pepper, you can. And I just serve this over just some mixed greens. I like salads with my meals. Don't pour your dressing on there until you're ready to serve. Now, let's plate this meal up. Okay, let me get my work surface here. Let's get our bowl. I just cooked off some rice, just a little bit of that's actually jasmine rice, the boil in the bag kind. And I'm going to add some of my beautiful veggies here. Okay. If you have some sesame seeds, that would be delicious on that, or a little sesame oil. And here are our meatballs. I turned them over halfway through and brushed them with some, just more of the barbecue sauce. These are metal, so you've got to be very, very, very careful because they are going to be sharp. Let me get my little fork here. I like to go, you can serve them on the skewer if you want, like this. We'll just do that. Or you can, take them off the skewer and serve it. But you see the vegetables that we roasted alongside the meat? They got a little bit charred, which is wonderful. That just kind of helps caramelize that flavor. So I would just put some of the caramelized veggies on the side. For those of you that are like me and that really, really like roasted vegetables. Okay. However you want to serve it is fine. And there you go. That is a very quick and easy meal that you can make any day of the week. We made our ginger meatballs with crushed up ginger snaps and some ground. I used ground round today because it was on sale at my grocery store. You could use ground chuck if you wanted. I would not go the really, really fatty ground beef. And I just cut up a green pepper, but you could also use a red pepper or a yellow pepper, whatever you want to use, and some pineapple chunks. And I skewered them on some skewers. Now, if you don't have skewers, remember, you can just put them on a baking rack over a lined baking sheet. Now, I want you to look in here while we line that baking sheet. If you don't, all that's going to be burned onto the bottom of your pan, and you are going to be scrubbing. I don't like to do that, so I always line my pans with foil. And then all I have to do is just, get rid of that, and the cleanup is much easier. I just did it alongside some pineapple and green peppers and broiled them and brushed the meatballs with some barbecue sauce, and halfway through turned them over and brushed the other side with the barbecue sauce. They take about 25 minutes under the broiler, depending on the strength of your broiler. And they get the barbecue sauce just caramelizes and gets delicious. We made our salad dressing, and then we've got our delicious stir-fry celery with snow peas and scallions. Wonderful, easy meal. Honestly, start to finish, if you were just doing it straight through, you could have dinner on the table in under, well, allow time for the meatballs, so say 45 minutes. But start to finish cook time is 25 minutes. So it really is a simple meal that you can throw together even on your busiest day, and you've got a delicious meal for your family. Thank you for joining with me. Try these recipes and let me know what you think, and I will see you next time on Everyday Manna.
Thank you for watching Everyday Manna with Lisa. This program is made possible by viewers like you. Your support is continually needed to keep Christian programming on the air. Please